Good morning, first graders and families. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining me for another chapter of Mummies in the Morning. We're on chapter 8 today. So yesterday they followed the queen to her burial chamber. Remember, she said, "Follow me," and they did, and they got here, and then they couldn't find her. They didn't know where she went. And they had a box, a gold box that they were going to look in and see if she was in there. We don't know yet. So let's go see if we can find out where the ghost queen went. Chapter 8. The Mummy. A real mummy? Bandages were still wrapped around the bald skull, but most of the bandages had come off the face. It was Hatshepsut, Queen of the Nile. They found her. Her broken teeth were showing, her little wrinkled ears, her squashed nose, her withered flesh, her hollow eye sockets. Plus, the rotting bandages on her body were coming off. You could see bones. "Oh, gross," cried Annie. "Let's go." "No," said Jack. "It's interesting." "Forget it," said Annie, and she started out of the room. "Wait, Annie." "Come on, Jack, hurry," cried Annie. She was standing by the door. Jack pulled out the Egypt book and flipped to a picture of a mummy. He read aloud, "Ancient Egyptians tried to protect the body so it would last forever. First, it was dried out in salt." So here's what he's reading from his book. "Ugh, stop," said Annie. "Listen to Jack," he kept reading. "Next, it was covered with oil. Then it was wrapped tightly in bandages. The brain was removed." "Yuck! Stop!" cried Annie. "Goodbye!" And she dashed out of the room. "Annie," called Jack, "we have to give her the Book of the Dead." But Annie was gone. So here's that gold box. And inside is the mummy. And inside, they found the ghost queen. Jack reached into his pack. He pulled out the scroll and the scepter. He put them next to the mummy's skull. Your skull is your head, the hard thing. Was it just his imagination? Or did a deep sigh, remember that, seem to shudder throughout the room? Did the mummy's face grow calmer? Jack held his breath as he backed away, out of the mummy room, out of the boat room, down the stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, he heaved his own sigh. A sigh of relief. He looked down the hallway. It was empty. "Hey, where are you?" he said. No answer. Where in the world was Annie? Little sisters. Jack started down the hallway. "Annie," he called. Had she run out of the pyramid? Was she already outside? "Annie! Help, Jack!" came a cry. The voice sounded far away. It was Annie. Where was she? "Help, Jack! Annie!" Jack started to run along the shadowy hallway. "Help, Jack!" Her cry seemed fainter. Jack stopped. He was running away from her voice. "Annie!" he called. He went back toward the burial chamber. "Jack!" There, her voice was louder. "Jack!" Even louder. Jack climbed the stairs. He went back into the boat room. He looked around the room at the furniture, the musical instruments, the boat. Then he saw another door. Right next to the door he had just come through. The other door was open. Jack dashed through it. He found himself at the top of some stairs. They were just like the stairs in the other hallway, he thought. He went down into the hallway. It was lit by torches on the wall. It was just like the other hallway. Annie, he called. Jack! Annie! This is kind of confusing, isn't it? Jack! She was running through the hallway toward him. She crashed into him. Oh, I was lost, she cried. I think this is one of those false passages built to fool the tomb robbers, said Jack. A false passage? Said Annie, panting. Yeah, it looks just like the right hallway, said Jack. We have to go back into the boat room and out the other door. Just then, they heard a creaking noise. Jack and Annie turned around. They looked up the stairs. Then they watched in horror as the door slowly creaked shut. A deep sound rumbled in the distance, and all the torches went out. That was scary. Yikes. I'm really worried for Jack and Annie. I hope that they don't get stuck in this pyramid. Wouldn't that be scary? Thank you for joining me today. If you check back in tomorrow, we will read chapter 9. And then we're almost done. I think we only have 10 chapters. Let me see. 10 chapters. So we'll be finishing soon. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.